Please keep these tools ready before starting the spindle installation. Keep the individual spindle box only in vertical condition while transporting from store to ring frame. Clean the spindle rail or spindle beam and bore before fixing the bolster. Remove the spindle top part and keep on spindle trolley. Care should be taken to ensure spindle top parts are not hitting each other on the trolley. Clean the steel bolster externally with a soft and clean cloth. Fix the bolster on the spindle beam or spindle rail. While fixing the bolster on the spindle rail, use of washer between the spindle rail and the nut prevents damage to the threading on the bolster housing in case of over-tightening. Always use the torque wrench to tighten bolster nut. The torque wrench should be set at maximum torque of 5 kg-meter or 50 Newton-meter. Do not apply torque exceeding 5 kg-meter or 50 Newton-meter for tightening the bolster nut, as it may damage the bolster. Hold the bolster with the special plier supplied by Ring Frame OEM. Tighten the bolster nut by using the torque wrench. Do not assemble the finger brake inside the bolster while mounting it on the spindle beam. Do not tighten the bolster nut by using regular spanner, as it will cause over-tightening. Do not use the finger brake as a tool to hold bolster position while tightening the bolster nut. This may damage the spindle brake. Clean and rinse the bolster from inside with the spindle lubrication machine. Use spindle oil of grade ISO VG10 or any equivalent class for cleaning and rinsing. TeraSpin spindles are supplied without oil filling. Fill the bolster with spindle oil of grade ISO VG10 or any equivalent class up to the maximum recommended level. This will ensure oil reaches up to the neck bearing unit, even at slower initial spindle speeds. Make sure there is no air bubble left inside the oil spool. Operation of spindles without oil, even for a short period, will damage the spindle bearing unit and cause premature failure of the spindle. Always use the TeraSpin dipstick to check the oil level in the bolster. Please do not use dipsticks supplied by any other spindle or machine manufacturer, as it will not show the correct oil level inside the bolster. Use the flushing or oiling adapter or gun with appropriate length of tube to suit the type of spindle bearing unit, HF1 or HF21 or HF21C or HF100. These adapters are supplied with the spindle lubricating machine. If not available, proactively talk to TeraSpin for support. After filling oil, allow approximately 40 minutes for the oil to enter inside the bolster components, that is oil spool, in the housing. Check the oil level after filling oil inside the bolster. As oil enters slowly between the layers of oil spool, do not keep the bolsters in open condition, else fibers and dust may settle on the neck-bearing unit. Wipe the spindle blade with a soft lint-free clean cloth. Insert spindle top part gently into the bolster assembly while holding it in a vertical position. If the spindle top part is inserted in a skewed manner or if it is dropped into the bolster assembly, it can damage the neck bearing of the spindle bearing unit and the spindle blade, which will directly affect the performance and life of the spindle. Wipe off any spindle oil spilling out of the bolster assembly with a cloth. Do not use any kind of powder to soak this spilled oil, as there is a risk of this powder entering into the bolster assembly, resulting in damage to the neck bearing unit and the spindle blade tip. Please check the free rotation of all the spindles by rotating the top part by hand before starting the machine. Position the spindle tape gently over the spindle whorl only. If the new spindles have a different whorl diameter than spindles earlier used on the machine, make sure that correct spindle tape length is chosen to suit the whorl diameter of the new spindles. Please ensure correct tension in the spindle tape as per OEM standard. Spindle centering must be done by using proper tools provided by the ring frame manufacturers. Also, the procedure suggested by the ring frame manufacturers should be followed. Precise centering of the spindle with respect to the spinning ring is a must for the smooth running of the spindles at high speed. Also, improper spindle centering affects the yarn quality and the number of end breaks.
After fixing the bolster, insert only one brake leg inside the bolster slot. Then turn the finger brake slowly until the other leg of the finger brake enters in the slot provided in the flange.
The brake should be perpendicular to the spindle rail on beam and move freely within the slot in the bolster flange.
Brake shoulder should not touch the spindle tape. Run the machine at initial speed of 10,000 to 12,000 revolutions per minute for 30 minutes and check for any abnormal vibration, noise, or excessive heat generation.
Follow the running-in process to ensure long life and consistent performance of spindles throughout the spindle life.
Thank you.